Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mac if you're new here, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my best 5 tips on how to get more sales to your Etsy shop. I know lots of you are brand new to Etsy selling, or you have listings up and you're not getting as much traffic to your store. So I'm going to be sharing these tips with you today in hope that it will help you to get more sales and just drive more traffic to your store in general. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. I post videos talking about Etsy, print on demand, digital downloads, e-commerce in general. So if that interests you, be sure to join our community. I also want to let you know that if you are brand new to selling print on demand, I do have an affordable downloadable guide for you in the description below. It is a download and it's a quick beginner guide on how you can get started with print on demand if you are new. So let's jump into the 5 top ways to get more sales on your Etsy shop. My very first tip for you today is to invest in better photos. Now, whether you are a print on demand seller or you sell physical products that you create or source, your photos are the most important thing besides your title. Photos are what the customer sees very first. The customer's not looking at your title, they're not reading your description, they're not even looking at the price. The very first thing that they are going to see are photos. So when someone types something into that Etsy search bar and a bunch of listings pop up, they are shopping with their eyes. They are going to see what photo is drawing their attention. So it is so important to invest in good quality photos. Now, this may mean if you are taking the photos yourself or ordering samples that you should invest in better equipment or hire someone to take the photos for you. Now, if you're a print on demand seller, there are multiple ways to get photos of your items as you are not going to be physically holding that inventory. I do have a full video that I will link on the screen for you here and in the description below if you want to check that out. But it is worth your time to make sure that your listing photos are up to standards, they're high quality, they're showing different ways of engaging in the product. So what I mean by that is if you're selling a mug, don't just show, flat images of the mug. Those are okay to have, but show the mug being used. You can even show a video of the mug, of someone pouring something into the mug, because that just makes a personal connection between the customer and the product. Another thing too is to utilize every single photo space. So Etsy's gonna give you all of the photo spaces. Try to use them all. Etsy is aware in their own algorithms of which listings to push, and if you're showing that you have used all of the photos, that's going to help you out in both ways for your customer and through your Etsy search. The second tip that I have for you today is being consistent and active in your Etsy shop. Now, this kind of piggybacks off of what I was just talking about, where Etsy has its own algorithms to see what sellers are actively engaging with their store. So if you post something on Etsy and you don't touch your store for 2 weeks, Etsy is aware of that. They know what sellers are in there every day that are uploading listings consistently. So what it means to be consistent and be active in your store is a few things. One of them is to be frequently posting new listings. Now, this is just going to help you because obviously, number one, the more listings that you have, the more surface area you take up on the internet, the more likely it is that you will get a sale. Now, there are mixed feelings about this, but just from my own personal experience, having more listings does equal more sales as long as they are all correctly optimized. Now, it doesn't mean just like throw listings up every day just to do it. You can also just take your listings that you already have, duplicate them, and then you can put a new photo and a new title or change up the tags. And not only does this help you through the Etsy algorithm, but that's also going to help you better know what people are clicking on. Maybe a listing that you duplicate, the photos are better and that one's getting more views. So you can kind of optimize using your own strategy. But it's definitely important to be consistent on the platform. This also means that you should actively be updating your shop. So your shop announcement, you can be changing out your banner, just making sure that things are up to date. You don't want to have shop policies that are old. Just make sure that everything is updated. You're keeping up with your customer service, especially now that Etsy has this star seller where they're seeing what sellers are being rewarded for certain things in their shop. It's just important to get back to your customers. Make sure all of this stuff is done because Etsy is clearly trying to pick out which sellers are actually actively on their platform, not so much just posting things and walking away from it. So I feel like that's a really important tip. I do see what stores I am on more often perform better. So please take that into consideration. Definitely invest your time into this Etsy shop. Don't just put it there and walk away from it, because it's going to serve you way better value if you actually put the time into it. And as I was mentioning, duplicating listings and posting listings more often, this really does help because Etsy pushes new listings in the algorithm, because as soon as you upload that listing, they need to figure out where to bring it to, who to put it in front of. So they do push those out. So if you're actively putting up those new listings, you're going to get pushed out in the Etsy search and algorithm more often than other shops that are not actively posting. So that is my second tip. Be active, be consistent in your store. Don't just walk away from it. Show up, be there, treat it like it's an actual job, in an actual way of making money, even if you're not making money from it yet. My next tip, my third tip, is one that is kind of obvious, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of insight on it, and that is your SEO. Now, SEO is one of the most talked about things because it is literally so important. SEO stands for search engine optimization, and this basically is a fancy way of saying you're telling the search engine, Etsy, who to put your listings in front of. And that is why your titles and tags and using keywords in both of those and your descriptions are so important, because that is how the app is going to know, okay, I'm putting dog shirts in front of people that are searching for dog shirts, not people that are searching for cat shirts. So that might sound obvious, but it's so important to think like your buyer when creating these titles and tags. So think of what somebody would type in to find your item. Think of if you're selling something with a Dalmatian on it, you're going to be in better interest of putting Dalmatian mug rather than dog mug, because somebody that is searching for a Dalmatian mug is going to type in Dalmatian mug. So that's niching down and using your SEO. Now, if you're wondering and feeling like you need help with your keywords, I highly suggest using an outsourced extension that will be able to show you what is actually trending, what people are searching for, and how well your keywords are doing. We obviously want to have keywords that have a high search volume but with a lower competition. And one of the best ways that I use to find those is through Sale Samurai. Now, I started using this platform a few months ago and was testing it and was so impressed because I have used different research ways in the past, but Sale Samurai is great because it's going to integrate directly with your Etsy shop, and there's a Chrome extension. So when you're typing in phrases into that Etsy search bar, you're going to see the search volume and listings pop up on the side. You can also spy on competitors. So that is just something to utilize, especially with your SEO, and just to see if the words you're using are actually of value to you in that listing. So I will link that below along with a code for you to sign up and check it out for yourself. But I definitely recommend for, keywords and SEO, because it's so important to add in that extra research, because it is very valuable. So my next tip for you, number 4, is to utilize Pinterest. Now, Pinterest is a search engine and it is a great way to market your Etsy shop, especially using idea pins. I did do a full tutorial on this that I will link for you below along with everything else I'm talking about, but using the idea pins are going to be a very beneficial resource for you, especially because any platform with short form video content is being pushed higher in search engines. But Pinterest is amazing. And I know I've talked about this before, but Pinterest is a place that people go to searching for ideas. They don't even realize that they're going to purchase something, but they do end up purchasing because they're looking for something or an idea or inspiration, and then they see a product. So I love using Pinterest. I think it's a great way to utilize, a social media. In a sense, it is a search engine, but people do consider it a social media. And I know that a lot of times with social media, it can be super intimidating to create all of these accounts with a brand new shop, and I don't expect you to just hop right in and know how to do that. But if you are going to put your time into another platform to promote your items, I would recommend Pinterest. So again, I will have that tutorial for you, but it is just a really fun way. You can even directly link your Etsy shop with Pinterest so that you can just link it directly to those listings, or you can copy and paste it. So as soon as someone clicks on your pin, it'll bring them directly over to purchase from your Etsy shop. So my very last tip for you today, number number 5 is low budget Etsy ads. Etsy does give you the option to run ads on individual listings, and you can choose a daily budget for that. Now, I don't suggest just going to your Etsy shop and putting a bunch of ads on your listings. Do not do that. What I do suggest doing is once you have a few listings up, you're getting some favorites, maybe even a purchase, those are the listings that you want to invest an Etsy ad on. Now, if this is not happening to you yet, focus on the other things that I talked about very first. That's why I wanted to talk about this last, because you don't want to just throw your money at ads when it's not proven to be a good searched for Etsy listing. So if you already have listings that are doing well, go ahead and run low budget ads. Now I'm talking $2 to $10 a day, depending on your volume. So Etsy ads are a great thing to use, but again, don't just go throwing your money at it. Make sure that whatever listing you know is going to sell, it has already gotten a sale, it is getting favorites, and it's priced correctly and all of that. So before you invest your money in ads, I know I keep saying it, but it's just something that I feel like I need to say because there's a lot of different people that will tell you to just run ads on products, and I don't believe in that. I've never done that. I've only ever invested my money to ads when I know that the product is already selling. One more thing to mention with running ads is you want to make sure that you're getting a return on the ads you're running. So if you're running these low ads but you're not seeing a return, Etsy's not telling you that you received a sale from an ad, you may want to reevaluate the listings that you are pushing the ads on, because you just don't want to be spending your money if you're not receiving a return. So your return should be at least double for whatever it is that you have your budget on. And it can take a few days to have it, start working, but that's just something to keep in mind so you don't end up wasting your money in the long run. Now, those are my top 5 tips for you today. I hope that these were helpful to you. And again, I will have everything I talked about linked below, along with that print on demand guide if you are interested. But I hope that these tips were helpful to you, and definitely let me know if you have any questions about them in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.